One thing I realized, I feel like there's more malls and gas stations out here in China. Welcome back to Soul Quest. Let's talk about malls in China.
Alright, the same problem as previous video. The mic sounds horrible, so I'm just gonna dub over it. Today we are in MixC, like I mentioned earlier, and this is one of the mega malls out here in China. This is where most events is going to be held in, and if you are bored, this is the place where you're going to go to as well. Now, when it comes to mall, I would say there are 4 types of mall out here in Shenzhen. One is the super mega mall, just like this one, MixC. This has all the brand store, all the special events, all the fancy restaurant, anything fancy you want to think about, it's all right over here. Now, the second type of mall will be your just regular mall. These are malls that have brand store and also electronic shop, but they don't have grand events and galleries just like the mega mall that we are in right now. Now, the third type of mall, I would say this is more like a local mall. Typically, these kind of malls are connected to an apartment, and that way it increased the price of the apartment itself. And usually inside these malls, they have supermarkets, electronic shop, and also clothing shop. Now, for the fourth type of mall, I would say this is the saddest type of mall. And it's a term that I made out of my own ass, but I would say I call it the training center mall. Basically, these are kind of defunct type of mall. They either used to be a super mega mall, regular mall, or either a local mall, but I guess they didn't fill up the room and they didn't make any profit. And then training center swoops in with a stable income for the mall. And typically when 1 or 2 training centers starts to go inside a mall, you can expect that mall to be defunct in the next 6 months. Based off my experience, I've seen mall that used to be like a mega mall or either a local mall where there's restaurants and also grocery shop places that you can go to, and it just turns out to be a training center in like about 8 months or like 1 year, and I think it's just very sad. So now, what to expect when it comes to any of these malls in general? Basically, it's a major hangout place for most local Chinese people and where most events are going to be held as well. But the most important things are photos. People here loves social media and photos. Now, this is the reason why every malls that you go to China, and there's always a photo place that you can take pictures of, and they tried their best to focus more on the decoration. And now let's go bite into the main part of the video, and that is the anatomy of every mall that you go to in China. Now, the main reason I really want to talk about this subject is because this is the main place you're going to hang out with your local friends or either expat friends, because there are tons and tons of malls in every first tier city in China, especially in Shenzhen. But not only that, this is the main place you're gonna go eat and also have most of your events in China. First of all, I'd say most malls are the same in general, even the local mall up to the mega malls. Now, first, let's talk about the base of the mall itself. This is the main place that you're gonna be entering the mall and also the best place for you to take photos, and this is where it's the most decorated for every mall. And typically on the base floor, you would find brand shop, electronic shop, cafes, some restaurant on the side of the malls. And now let's move on to the mid section of the mall. Of course, this doesn't apply to the malls that are only 2 floors, but most malls are 3 floors or above, unless if they're a local mall. And what I mean by the mid section of the mall is anything below the very top floor or anything above the base floor. Typically in the mid section, you would find a lot of clothing shops. These are the main fill for most mall out here in China. Unless if it is like a local mall or a smaller mall, it will be mixed in with some snack shop, tea shop, and also a restaurant as well. But most mall are filled in with clothing shops. And of course gift shops as well, such as trinkets or any one of those like miscellaneous shop like Uniqlo, Green Party, etc. like that. Unless if there is a good view in the midsection of the mall, big windows or a balcony in general, you'd find cafe in the corners of these mall or either restaurants. And when it comes to the very top floor of every mall that you come to in China, this is where most of the expensive restaurants are. And typically you find Korean barbecue, sushi, buffet, or fancy Beijing duck on the very top floor. So if you and your friends are just walking around China and you're just feeling a bit hungry and you want to go to a restaurant, you can just go to any mall out here in Shenzhen or either first tier city in China and go to the very top floor of the mall, and you'd find yourself lots of restaurants for you to pick from. Now, the other resident on the very top floor of the mall are usually the cinema. I think the main reason why is because there's more spaces, they get to have higher ceilings. But of course, in some rare cases, you'd find a really fancy coffee shop on the very top floor as well. But that's just rare cases because MixC is one of the fancier mall and like unique mall out here. Now let's move on to the ground floor. I would say ground floor is anything below the base floor. It could go from -1 all the way to -5. This is the second place you're going to spend the most time in every mall. The main reason why is because this is also connected to the subway. The main reason why there's more stores out here is because there's more foot traffic. Usually the ground floor are connected to the parking lot. This is the first place anyone's going to arrive when it comes to the mall. But the most important thing is that most subway are connected to malls out here in Shenzhen. Now, of course, this doesn't apply to 100% of the mall in Shenzhen. I would say maybe a 25-30% of malls out here are kind of connected to the subway. Or either they're connected to another building, which connects each together with an underground passage. This is why there's a lot of fast food trinket shop out here, and also for people getting from subway to work to get their food quickly. I think the best thing when it comes to any of these ground floor are the prices. The prices here are a lot cheaper in comparison to the very top floor. So if you are in the budget, I would recommend just go to the ground floor in every mall out there and you find yourself a more affordable option for food. Yeah, this is the typical anatomy of every mall that you probably encounter out here in China. And if you disagree, comment down below, just let me know. But that's about it. If you have any question, comment down below. I'll try to reply to you as soon as possible. If you have an interesting story, comment down below as well. I would like to know. I can share it out with the whole community. And until next time, SoulQuest logging out. Peace.
哎呀，Solo Quest。